Here we have the new 2027 Chevrolet Bolt. This one comes in the LT trim level. This one also has the comfort package. Sterling gray metallic is the paint. Then we have jet black cloth interior. Powertrain consists of a front mounted electric motor. We get 262 miles on a full charge through this 65 kilowatt hour battery. You also get up to 150 kilowatts in terms of DC fast charge speed. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. And I love the overall look of the Bolt. Just a nice, sophisticated, aggressive look. It really reminds me of the Buick lineup in terms of just how it looks in a good way. It just seems aggressive yet sleek at the same time. Down to these wheels, these are going to be 17-inch aluminum wheels. I like that design as well. I like the kind of turbine look. Passive keyless entry on the front, and then to the door panel, power door lock controls. And then we do get express down on all windows, and then one touch up and down on the driver's side. Power mirror controls. This one does have blind spot monitors in it. Bottle holder, electronic parking brake, lane keeping system, heated steering wheel toggle, hood release. We get a manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then here's our power driver seat with two-way power lumbar support. Now, I do want to give a huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee for allowing me to review this vehicle today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now, I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs, so sitting behind myself, phenomenal space back here. You get two USB-C charge ports, and there's a look at the front. And then even with this kind of having a smaller, I guess, space in terms of height in here, I still have an inch or so above my head being 6'3", so that's great. Grab handle here if you need to hang a white collar shirt, you can do that. And then your child locks, lock, unlock there. And then to the charge port, again, 150 kilowatts DC fast charge speed. We have that Tesla power input now, or I should say charge port, excuse me. So if you want to hook up to a supercharger, you can do that. Or you can get an adapter and use the Electrify America, I'm assuming. But that was an interesting move by GM, I think. And we do get LED tail lamps. So look at the cargo space, chargers in there. I like the storage underneath here. That's pretty awesome. Then you have another kind of storage compartment there for your tire inflator kit, if you can see back in there. And then another cool thing is you can pretty much take this out, and then you just have that kind of deeper storage pocket if you want to. But I kind of like having the two levels myself. Top tethers for the car seats are integrated behind or on the back of the seats themselves. And then as we come around to this rear passenger side, if for whatever reason you want to fold the seat down, you can do this on either side. Just press this in. Folds flat there. You can run longer objects. Pretty easy to pop back into place. And you also have a little holder here for the seat belt if you kind of want to keep that together while you're folding the seat up or down. And then your lower latch anchors for the car seats are tucked deep back in there. Our front passenger seat, it's gonna be manual, but it is 6-way, so you can pump the seat up or down, adjust the seat back, and adjust the seat bottom forward and back there. Traditional glove compartment. Then you have a couple different storage pockets there, which is pretty neat. Excuse me, it's doggone pollen. Back around to the front end, quick look in the compartment up front. Again, you get a front mounted electric motor. And then before we hop in the driver's seat, just gonna take a quick look at the blinkers. Let's go ahead and hop in. So nice leather wrap steering wheel here. I like the overall feel of it. There's the horn. Now let's go into the screen here. Now for the audio, we do get our AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, Google News, USB drive, all that can be used to play audio. Your vehicle status, you can see that here. So if you want to click on the tire pressure, and then the energy usage, efficiency, all of that. And then you can go into these sub menus to see them all separately if you'd like to see that. And then your drive modes are right here. You get normal, sport, snow, ice, my mode, and then you can see the info on each one as well. And then we do have our backup camera right in there. Parking sensors, rear automatic braking, you can adjust all of that. And then you also have the option to adjust the lights as well. Your headlamp controls are in the screen, but pretty easy to get to. You can leave them on auto 99% of the time anyway. So not really a big issue for me. And then you can also toggle that one pedal drive as well. Charging in here, if you want to go through any of those options, you have energy transfer as well. So you can basically power something else from your vehicle if you need to. Get single zone automatic climate control, so you can adjust the temperature here, fan speed, fan direction, and all of that. You also have buttons down here below. 3-stage heated seats as well for the front. And then in your settings here, your vehicle settings include teen driver, rear seat reminder, and buckle to drive. And then you also have your system settings down here if you want to change your language, as well as your units of measurement. But for the most part, pretty much it. Your rear window lockout is here, and the controls and safety. Pull up the camera, the traction control, the automatic high beams, and if you go in here, you can use the power windows again through those different options. And then your lights are in here with the automatic high beams if you want to turn those on. And then the blind zone and all of that can be toggled as well. Hazards are over here. You get a volume knob if you want to turn that up or down. Click to mute. And down here, quite a bit of storage. Pocket there, huge pocket down there, and then kind of like a bigger cup holder in my opinion. But then you have a 12 volt and then 2 USB-C ports right there, which is pretty cool to have out of the way. And then you have more storage within the vehicle. 2 traditional bottle holders here, a center console cubby space with it, which is actually in a pretty good size, I think. But there's a look at the back. OnStar controls, vanity mirror, and then back up front, left side stock blinkers, the wipers, rear wipers. There's fluid for the rear, then fluid for the front. And then your shifter is on the column, so just hit the brake, pull up for neutral, reverse, and then up and down for drive, press P for park. Behind the steering wheel on the left side, we can go through our track list or radio station presets. And then behind on the right side, we can toggle the volume up or down. We do get adaptive cruise, so we can turn that on there. Hold this cancel button to go between adaptive and regular, and then you will get a notification when one or the other is activated. Set your speed there, and here's the gap adjust for the forward collision alert and the adaptive cruise. Mute, voice recognition. The scroll bar goes to your favorites. When applicable, you can use it for other things as well when the phone's connected or when the audio sources are being pulled up. And then you also have different cluster views you can use as well. But basically, you turn the vehicle on or off up here. You can shut the vehicle off there, leave the vehicle on there. Or if you have the key on you, as soon as you get in, you hit the brake, it starts up. And then if you don't hit any of those buttons over there, as soon as you open the door, it'll cut off. But finally, here's the key fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2027 Chevrolet Bolt LT out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Bolt LT, pretty good power output, I think, especially for a vehicle of, I guess, this nature, this caliber. It's not necessarily fast, but it does have some pep in its step, and it's very easy to drive, very efficient. Now the normal drive mode is plenty of power. Sport mode kind of just makes the pedal a bit more touchy, if you will. But I'm going to put it into sport now. We're going to see what it can do. Here we go. I mean, thing's quick, very quick. Now I want to give one more huge thanks to Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. Now, it does have quite a bit of pep, even from highway speeds if you want to nail it. It just pulls differently. I have a Mustang Mach-E, and when I give that throttle, it feels more natural, I guess. But where this is pulling from the front, if you're driving down the road and you nail it, you can definitely feel it pull from the front in the steering wheel. Not dangerous or anything. Again, it's just something that I noticed. But I think for what you get here, it's a solid vehicle that's got this kind of power, this kind of range, this kind of efficiency for under $30,000. And relatively spacious as well. Now, in terms of what you get for the money, I think, again, it's a solid deal when you think about just as a daily driver, an EV. EVs are very expensive because of the batteries, because of the technology that's expected out of these vehicles. But this is a solid car. It has DC fast charge capability, up to 262 miles of range. It's relatively fun to drive for this kind of car, lots of space. And it looks good too. They've done a really good job. And the Bolt was never necessarily ugly, but this is just so much better, I think, in terms of the design, interior, exterior, all of that. So I'm very, very impressed overall. Again, especially to be at a $30,000 price point. Now, this comfort package that's included throws in the power seat. I'm not sure if it throws in the heated seats or what else, but it's $800-something for the entire package. And just for the power seat alone and a few of these other little things, I think it's an essential if you're gonna get the LT trim level. So I highly recommend that. If you don't want anything extra, you can take that off, save a bit more money. The sticker's right at, I think, $29,990. So if you want to get closer to $29,000 flat before taxes, you can do that if you can find one without the comfort package. But overall, I mean, it's a solid vehicle. And say what you will about battery technology and this, that, whatever. If you take good care of these and maintain them like you should, just with any other car, they can go a minute. And when you think about the cheapest thing to own, this is basically a hatchback. You can plug it into the wall even when you're getting 40 miles a gallon in a hybrid. When gas is $5 a gallon, you know, that cost can quickly add up. But especially places like where I am in Tennessee, electricity's cheap. You can set up a solar farm if you want to, if you have access to that, especially if you have a lot of land. It's easy to kind of keep this thing charged up and not to pay for it except for the initial hardware and the battery tech. So, I mean, I just think it's a really solid car for what you get. And it's nice. And you don't even have to go up to an RS to get a nice Chevy Bolt. So, all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2027 Chevy Bolt in the LT trim level.